سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. رب زدني علما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الذين يكتبون ما أنزلنا من البينات والهدى من بعد ما بيناه للناس في الكتاب أولئك يلعنهم الله يلعنهم اللاعنون إلا الذين تابوا وأصلحوا وبينوا فأولئك أتوب عليهم وأنا التواب الرحيم. إن الذين كفروا وماتوا وهم كفار أولئك عليهم لعنة الله والملائكة والناس أجمعين خالدين فيها لا يخفف عنهم العذاب ولا هم ينظرون. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. So we have, I think, in detail explained the basic translation and tafsir of these ayahs. There's a couple of points that we wanted to continue with and complete our discussion on these ayats, and that is number one. Here, the explicit injunction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that those who conceal the ayat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down obviously in the book. So, those who do so, they deserve the curse of Allah and His malaika and all of the creation. So, is this true for those who also conceal knowledge which is also transmitted through hadith? And the answer is yes. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu says that had it not been for this ayat, I would not have mentioned a single hadith of Rasulullah. Why? Because of the responsibility. Because if we are narrating something from Rasulullah or from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or expressing our opinions in legal matters, it's a huge responsibility and accountability in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, just as the concealment of the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or anything of His message in the Quran, similarly, such a curse is due to such people who knowingly conceal the knowledge which is needed by the people, and as we mentioned, that knowledge which everyone is in need of and that everyone can understand. Okay? Last point that we want to mention, and it's a very important point, and that is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that His curse is angels' curse, and the entire creation's curse on those people who disbelieve, on the kuffar, the infidels, and they die in that state. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who lives and dies in iman and in kufr. Nobody else knows that, unless we have an explicit, we have an explicit injunction, we have an explicit, statement from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that so-and-so died in the state of kufr, right? Like Firaun, like Nimrud, like Abu Lahab, or in the hadith of Rasulullah, he mentions that so-and-so is in nar, or he mentions that he has a certain punishment in the akhirah. Otherwise, we do not know what is the condition of anyone who has passed this world otherwise. We hope to die in the state of Iman, and we hope that everyone who has apparently been a Muslim dies in the state of Iman, but it's a very delicate issue. We don't know. At the point of death, who is actually dying with Iman, who is actually dying in the state of Kufr, that we do not know. So therefore, we cannot curse anyone, even those who have passed the world, who apparently left the world in infidelity. We cannot curse them. And we should not curse them. We're not permitted to do so. That being said, also, to curse anything, whether it be a human being, whether it be an animal, whether it be your car, whether it be your house, which inadvertently people do that because, they get angry and then all of a sudden curses start, protruding from their lips, and that should be contained and controlled. And this is part of the lessons that we're learning in terms of character development. We have to control our anger, and that anger sometimes translates into curses. Especially women tend to do that more than men. And this can wind up, number one, it's a disobedience. And number two, if that curse actually is accepted, then obviously it's going to be a disaster. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to understand His message and to implement it and to live that life until the moment of death and accept us all. Ameen, thumma ameen, wa akhira da'wana, and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.